They're not audio, so they don't hear me.
Oh, I think they
What
hear
are you
you. It's a
doing when
matter of
there's no NASCAR? It's like, what the hell?
well,
It's
wait a
like
minute. It's well, NASCAR isn't until Sundays. Oh, well, that's true. It just finished.
it finished. We got to wait till the Daytona 500 in February.
Oh my goodness.
I guess they
Yes.
do. I guess they do. They changed one anyway. Who
All
cares?
right. Well,
Me and
welcome,
Kurt are
welcome,
the only
welcome.
people who care. So
Well,
I'm sure
welcome
there's a few
everybody.
people that care.
Well, I care. I love NASCAR. So, all right. Well, welcome everybody. It is so good to see you. Yeah, Curtis and Scott, if you're watching us on YouTube, yes, we have posted the links before. So check your email and check your telegrams. The links to Zoom are there.
don't
Anyways,
we only send the link to people that make donations, right?
exactly.
No, I'm
Especially
kidding.
to
No, this
Zoom
might come as
email
a
didn't go out.
shocker to you guys, but or maybe not, depending on how we normally do things. But my dad actually had me get rid of the whole email list, so there wasn't an email that went out.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Well, there you go. All right, so that's the reason why, but it is in the Telegram groups, guys. So check those out, please. And welcome again to our A Amazing Ask Me Anything with the A Amazing Terry and Robert Hollis. We are so glad to have you with us. Post Thanksgiving, getting ready for the Christmas season. Yes, now we can put the turkeys away and bring in the red man. So, or as the movie is, Red One. So, I've never seen it. I understand it's okay. So, we'll see. But the point is, you are here with us today, Saturday, November 30th, 2024, and we are very happy to have you with us. A couple of quick announcements before we get started. First of all, if you do want to participate, because this is Ask Me Anything with the Amazing Robert Hollis and Terry Hollis, go ahead and type your question in either the chats for YouTube or Zoom if you're watching us either place. Or if you're on Zoom and you want to ask Robert and Terry a question directly, very simple. Look at your, put your cursor in the middle of the screen if you're watching on Zoom. On the bottom, a bunch of buttons will appear, one of which is raise hand. Press that button. We will call on you in the order in which we receive you, and we're going to intersperse those with the questions that are posed in the chats. So that's how we do Ask Me Anything, and Robert will answer them directly. By the way, if you do post a question in the chat, we will ask them on your behalf. So there we go. Want to thank each and every one of you. We are now 1/4 of the way to 100,000. And Robert, let me pin you on that one really quick, because what Robert is sharing when he puts the pieces together. Come on, Robert, you got it. There it is. That plaque on the right. That's what we're after. That silver plaque on the right.
I
It
haven't printed
shows.
a new picture yet.
I was gonna say
Okay.
that's the outdated plaque too.
Oh, okay.
Come on, Robert.
All right, Robert. Got to get caught up with the times.
What the hell?
So we're on our way to that. We have 25,770 subscribers to our YouTube channel. Thank you so much. Please, if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel and you are watching us on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. There's a lot of great content that we share with you on the channel, from the channel. Plus, you get to participate in our weekly podcasts, as well as these Ask Me Anythings and other future events that we have coming up. Now, before we do get started, of course, I always like to share a vibe of the day. Thank you, Terry, for posting them. She does those on a regular basis every single day. And the one for today is very good as we get into the holiday season. Actually, before I even say and of course, well, wait a minute. I pulled off that, Robert. Let me focus on that. There we are. And there are the boys. They're ready to go.
Stage 5 clingers.
Stage 5 clingers. Add Kyle, and you've got the whole family in the picture. Hi, Kyle, if you're there listening. Anyways, Yep. Okay. So let's go ahead and wrap up what we're going to do here. First of all, Scott McAvoy, thank you so very much for the donation and the super chat on YouTube. If you'd like to donate, there's a $sign at the bottom of the chat. Just click on that and donate. All the money and the proceeds will go to the charities that Robert supports, and mostly the orphanages, but there are others as well. So he donates on based on those. And finally, here we go. The vibe of the day. Terry, thank you so much for posting this today because it's really good as we head into the holiday season. As soon as you choose, everything else chooses you.
Whoa.
This is your season. Wowzers, a big, powerful one for today, Terry. Thank you so much for posting. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for the A-Amazing on this Ask Me Anything, the A-Amazing Terry and Robert Hollis.
Well, thank you so much, Craig, the hostess with the mostest. I love and appreciate and thankful for you. And I'm thankful for each and every one of you. I know the Canadians celebrate Thanksgiving early. And I know some countries are just not thankful at all. So it's, I have a lot of friends in other countries, and they seem like on a daily basis they enjoy complaining day, and that's just that might be here in the United States as well. But I hope each and every one of you had a great Thanksgiving and thankful and grateful, and I see Jamie on here, so I'm grateful. So it's like, but. Hey, Dustin. Hi, Eagle. Hi, Deborah. Peter. I think I said Scott, Curtis. You guys all jumped in. Peter and Linda, I see they got their audio connected. And love and appreciate each and every one of you. I'm very thankful for all of you. And so the short topic that I want to talk about today is just, again, to help you guys with mindsets on just everything in life. So one of the things I think is really unique is how many people do understand the lottery mentality. So the lottery mentality is all of a sudden, it's like we all have what makes us very unique is all of us have a different level of when the lottery is okay. Isn't that crazy? So people are like, no, never. I don't know about it. I ain't doing it. Then another person, whoa, if it hits 300 million, maybe you should count me in. You know what I mean? And then when it hits $1 billion, hey, I'm your guy. I'm your guy at $1 billion. You know what I mean? How many people do you know this, right? And in the midst of doing the lottery, I always tell people, again, my goal, and I ask for each and every one of you to take on something similar, is every day I just tell people, and people ask me what I do now, I always change it up. And I say, what I do is I inspire people to imagine a better future for them and the people they love. That's my number one goal, is just to inspire them to imagine. And so we all know that the lottery does that. So here's a neat little thing. For those of you that don't have a picture up, you can post it either on YouTube and Craig will look at it. But has any one of us ever won the lottery?
Sadly.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Not that I'm willing to disclose here.
Yeah. It's so we all do the same thing, right? We go out and do the lottery, and then after we do the lottery, we do want to find out who, what the numbers were, and then you got to reset, right? So now when you find out they didn't pull your numbers, I think there's a small group of people that want to know who got the ticket, if it was a partial winning or more than one person won, and maybe that just shows up in your local whatever. But before I came on here, I put in AI, how many countries do lotteries, and found out that all of them do. You know what I mean? And so I went, wow, that's really, really interesting in some way or another. Europe, Asia, South America, Africa, it's pretty interesting. Yeah, Arthur, definitely a moneymaker. And we know it all goes to the kids because they're so smart. You know what I mean? That it's like, A lot of lotteries are for educational reasons. And, you know, without going on that tangent, it is pretty interesting that a country like the United States can pay more per person than any country in the world and have their kids rank in the 30th or 40th percentile, you know, a number of 30, number 40. So it's it's pretty interesting. And all of us that are older have actually met some of these people that go through the current educational system. And we're like going, whoa. But the whole point is we all reset, you know? So after we find out that we lost, then we reset, and some of us reset for the next lottery, and some of us make a decision just not to play the lottery anymore. You know what I mean? This is done, right? And it all goes into that category again, a third, a third, a third. Where a third of people just don't know about the lottery. They've never ever heard of it. They don't know it exists, and they're not contributing. And then you got a third of the people that play the lottery. And then you got a third of the people that know about the lottery and they're not ever going to play, right? So the only reason that I bring this up is I think that's a really important mindset to sort of have if you decide to get into trading. All right? So I'm the kind of person that I won some trades, and then as soon as I lost some trades, I'm done. I just don't have time for this. I'm not interested. And even recently when I went back, I won some trades, took some Joel trades, won 9 trades in a row. And I'm going to tell you guys something that I'm doing that I'm not asking you to do. I'm just suggesting that you do. So I know people like to tap and trade and then just walk away. What I decided to do after meeting Joel, all right, talking to Joel and Dubai, I decided to click on the tap to trade and then watch it on Trade Locker. And as I'm watching it, I'm just 1000% not listening to logic. I'm just going with feeling. All right. And a lot of my trades are really, really small. I mean, $14 win, $18 win, $22 win. And I know Joel says, you know, sometimes you need to wait till it hits 150, depending on the account that you have. But I'm not thinking of that. I now have a 100K account because I got over 10 people and they awarded me a $100,000 account. I still haven't purchased an account, but I still haven't passed phase 1 on either one of them. Right? And so my number one thoughts each and every day is inspiring people to dream or inspiring people to imagine a better future for them and their family. And even though I'm watching all the people, including Arthur, which is, you know, the very first trade star, this is not being mean at all. But the amount of money that Arthur's made with TradeX Mastery and trading, you know, he has yet to make enough money to cover my 1 month's expenses. So I'm going, here's a guy that's paying attention. He's number 1 on the leaderboard. You know, he withdrew 10 grand. He's hovering around 24 to 37. And I'm like in my mind going, you know, I need to be withdrawing $50,000 a month is what I need to be withdrawing. Are you guys following me? Now, I do understand that eventually it can get there. I get the compounding thing, the 8th wonder of the world. But some of you have watched me, you know, bring in this new group from Poland that if you went into the MDC back office, they only brought in another 680 new traders so far for the month of November. All right. So that with their other total puts them a little over 1,000. And now I have 4 people in Poland that have all made over $40,000 a month with the MDC comp plan. Just so I'm still playing the lottery. I just play a different lottery than some of you. So each and every day, I'm trying to inspire people to imagine a better future for them and their family and the people that they love. But I'm still doing the same lottery as I did for the last 37 years. So it's sort of a mastery to me. Instead of placing trades, I'm reaching out to people and asking them who they know that might be interested in making money right now. I'm still doing that stupid stuff. All right. And so it's neat because when you find someone that's at the right place at the right time, that goes all in and does, to think that Tomas Damon, he was telling me that, he goes, can you send me that video that you sent me a long time ago? And I go, what is that? And he goes, well, it was the one that was showing your MDC back office. And I go, why? And he goes, because I'm doing one. I'm doing one tonight. And because he hit 100K and 50K, he hit them both 2 months in a row. He's got $15,000 that he just made in upfront bonuses. He made another $5,000 on his jumpstart. And his residual check, because of the changes, the upgrades in the comp plan, his residual check is already $7,000. So he's like, hey, where's that video where you go to the commission calculator and show 8 ways to get paid? Now, I've been in MDC 6 years and 8 months. He's the very first person that reached out to me and said, you know what? I put my head down. I shared the videos to as many people as I could as fast as I can. I've shared your videos. Now that I'm 100K and I've made 60 grand, I think it's time to share my video. How many of you tonight, or those that are watching recorded, would like to log into your MDC back office, click on commission calculator, and walk through all 8 ways of getting paid? And he reached out to me and he just said this really, really nice. He goes, the one that you sent me 7 months ago, you made 80 grand that month. He says, do you mind me asking what your commission calculator is so far for this month? And I said, yeah, right now it's like about 67,000. And he goes, there's people that make money, but then there's people that make it consistently. And then he started asking the right questions, right? Because at the beginning of this month, I had to have a serious talk with him, because the conversations that he was reaching out to me about was his people in his group were having problems. All right. And I said, listen, you're not babysitting. You're an independent contractor, an affiliate. So if you're selling cell phones for Verizon, and the cell phone is an Apple or a Samsung phone, after you sell them the phone and then hook them up to the service, if they call you up and go, Curtis, listen, I was driving down the freeway and I keep dropping my calls in this one place. Listen, that's a Verizon question. See, and I still see a lot of you trying to be the person for your people. And so it took me 2 days, and he was very, very passionate on the phone, leaving me message on Telegram. You don't understand. You don't understand. These people, are having troubles with the tap to trade, and they're also the trade locker thing's not working, and people are not answering their questions. And I'm like, I don't know. All I know is Charles just withdrew $11,800, and he goes, is the answer to you every question I ask you is you sending me a video of a story of someone that succeeded? And I go, yeah, it has. And it's that way for 37 years. And 3 days there, it was a little touch and go. And then he snapped. And he went, I'm listening to you. And I said, listen, if you don't requalify at 50 and 100K, you're going to miss 15 grand. You cannot lose that 50 grand for you and your family. You got to get back into phase one. Well, if you look at the leaderboard right now, I had that same conversation with everyone that's on the leaderboard right now. Because I still don't understand this mentality of why you would want to provide people that you connect to Akashics, TradeX Mastery, and MDC, why you want to be the go-between and every freaking thing they have to have. And when you do that, do you know what you do? You confuse your person. They now see, oh my God, this is what it takes to make money. And then they disappear and quit. Because again, you're just overloading them. So here was the funniest conversation. And then I got one other thing I'd like to share with you. So the guy that went 50K in 5 days, Camille, he didn't listen to me. See, he said, you don't understand. I introduced these people to MDC, Akashics, and TradeX Mastery. And I have to be the one that answers all their questions. Well, he had 50K in 5 days, and now he's at 10K, and he's not going to requalify, and he's going to miss 5 grand. And he leaves me a message today, and he said, I should have listened to you. He goes, I can't believe that Christian hit 50K again, and Tomas hit 100K again. I said, 100K is like at 150,000. He goes, wait a minute. Does he just sponsor people like me? And I went, yeah. And he goes, that's what I need to do. But now he's going to have to hit 50K again and back it up again. Are you guys following me? So I'm just asking all of you that if we all went to a store and all bought a lottery ticket, are you guys the kind of people that after they do the drawing, you guys would all call me up and say, I should have never went to you to buy a lottery ticket because they didn't pick my frickin' numbers? All right. One other quick thing. This love and hate relationship with Joel Harris, right? Here's what I think is really hilarious. And I sent this message to him. Is when things don't work correct. He's number 4 on the MDC leaderboard, right between my Poland people. Yeah. That kid listens to me, which is really, really fun. It's fun. I asked myself, why doesn't people listen to me? And I think they look at my income and they go, well, I must be doing something different than I'm teaching. I don't need $1 million a year. You know, I need like 100,000 a year. So I don't need to be doing stuff that Robert's doing, but I'm working smart. No, I'm smart instead of working hard. See, I don't even work. I had a guy reach out and he goes, oh my God, congratulations on your success. I can't believe how hard you're working. And I go, that's the key. I'm not working. And he's like, what? I go, who wants to work? See, I'm looking at Curtis, and I still believe that the reason that Curtis is not a super affiliate making $1 million a year is he looks at everything that I tell him as work. And so he just avoids that because he's better at doing other things that are not work. See, if you allow Curtis just to make money by calling people and telling them the importance and the value of learning from a mentor and a coach, Curtis is your man because that's his belief system. He still believes that what I do is something that is hard work and a skill that I got to learn when it's just imagination. So I reached out to Joel and I told Joel, I said, I love it when your trades go bad. And he goes, really, why? And I said, because your trades go bad, you do revenge trading, and then the trades that you're doing to get your money back go worse. And then Josh pulls you out of the tap and trade. And I go, I think that it should happen once a month. And he's going, why? And I said, because it takes about 4 or 5 days. And then everyone starts reaching out to me. Is Joel coming back? Is Joel coming back? You know, do you think that he'll be back? I hope he's feeling better. When is Joel coming back? I go, oh, that MFer that lost you money? You want him back? Yeah, but when he wins, he wins. And I'm going, you guys have already heard me share this. It'd be like if you're a sports fan, right? Or maybe you're watching the Voice, or the dancing ball thing, crystal ball thing. If you're watching anything that's competitive, and Dancing with the Stars. So if you're watching any one of these, right, eventually your person loses. Right? So, we got some, football fans on here. And it's like, hey, are you still cheering for the same team after they lose? Because that's loyalty. I know some of you are football fans, and I haven't seen you switch teams. But people will switch teams on Joel Harris in a heartbeat. And I'm like going, that's a person that stops imagining what their life could be for them and the people that they love. You got to be in imagination. Now, I know Joel's a better trader than me, so I love that thing. I'm learning still, but I've never heard of that thing is, would you be willing to lose $10,000 to make $100,000? Isn't that a great analogy? Would you be willing to lose $1,000 to make $10,000?
Yeah.
And see, everyone says that until they're doing tap to trades. No, let me make 100,000, then I'm okay with losing 10 grand. That's not the way it works. So I just thought I would share those two ideas because I still am plugging in and doing my best. I never ever thought. I see Scott and Arthur saying some stuff here. But yeah, you really fall in love with Joel in a hurry when all of a sudden Joel's not there. So then you just decide to take some other people's trades. And then you go, holy crap. I was like this. So, I know I'm going to say something that I know Arthur will disagree with because he's got more education. He's got more actual experience. But all my last 4 or 5 trades that I lost were all people trying to sell. And see, that might just be a coincidence for me. You know what I mean? So, if you look at Arthur and he's got like 600 trades or whatever, he's probably won some money on sales. Yeah. Is that correct, Arthur? Oh, very little. Are you there, Arthur?
Hold on.
Is that the beach?
Yep.
Where we
Can
should
you hear
be?
me?
At the beach where we should be.
Yeah, we got you, Arthur. Go ahead.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
now you're quiet.
We heard you for a second.
Nope.
But I did understand sign language.
Yeah, we did see
Did
that.
you guys understand sign language? And we wasn't talking about another subject. We were talking about making money. So it's like
You're spot on with both of them.
Check your audio settings and make sure that it's attached to the microphone you're going to use, Arthur.
you there? Yeah, we weren't
The
supposed to
audio
hear.
settings in Zoom.
We must not have been. We're not supposed to hear from Arthur.
All right. Well, there he goes.
But oh, is he gone? Yeah, he definitely hit the wrong button.
Yeah, I think he's going to go out and come back in.
Well,
We'll catch up with him.
That's how you hurt people's feelings right there. You know what I mean? It's like, no. So anyway, I'm done. Let's go to Q&A.
Sounds good. And just as a reminder, if you want to ask Robert a question, whether it's in chats or on Zoom, go ahead and type your question in the chat. Or if you really want to talk to Robert, like Coach Bob will in just a moment, and then we will get back to Arthur when he does come back. It's very simple. Put your cursor in the middle of the screen where you see my image, and then at the very bottom, you'll see a bunch of buttons. Click on the raise hand button like Coach Bob did, and we'll call on you. And then you get to interact with the amazing Terry and Robert Hollis. So that being said, let's see. Let me do a couple of little spotlight for that. And let's go ahead and bring in Coach Bob. Coach Bob, there you go. Go ahead, open up, and please share with us.
Hey, Terry, Robert, Matt, and Craig. Great. I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving and with their families, and everyone's healthy. Just a shout out to Marie, James Sanders' wife. She has an infection. I was contacting everyone, and then I found out she did. So hopefully she gets better. So if you could send prayers to her.
Thank you.
Yeah, and that I'm having a tough time with the trading and recruiting and trying to split up my time. It's just getting difficult, Robert.
Yeah, it's
trying to juggle the balls.
It's very difficult to learn a new skill while you're good at something else. It really is, because if you're doing something and you're getting results from that, now trying to learn something else, knowing that you got to embrace the suck, you know what I mean, of not being good at something, you know what I mean? And so I totally get you. I totally get you. It's like I worked on that skill of inspiring others to imagine a better future for themselves, and I'm like tripling down, quadrupling down on that, and it's like some of the other stuff that's, for those of you that have been around for a while, that really honestly was, I look at this moment in time in my life, and I 1000% feel I can impact more people by introducing Akashics and TradeX Mastery to them than anything else. And so when I get this feeling and I feel momentum and I step into that momentum, and because I imagine it and feel it and know it, it's like the amount of impact I can make in the next couple of years will just take my income to, $6 million a year. Yeah. And I can do so. I can help a lot of people with that income. So that's why I'm not spending. I now know that Joel trades at certain times, and I've seen Scott on here going what Matty Pipp said, spread the love around. My first question, Scott, would be, how's that working for you? You guys all know that's my default thing in my mind, is people go, hey, you ever tried this? And I go, I don't know. How's that working for you? I might even, write a book on it. Oh, wait a minute. I already did. And it's like, when people tell you to do something, then prove what they told you. And then say to everybody, you should do this. So, you guys see me do two things: double down on believing that I could bring in 10,000 traders. I'm like, just like our YouTube channel, I'm more than a quarter away of bringing in 10,000 traders. And so the other one was my YouTube channel. So now, instead of looking at 7,400 people for a year that subscribe to the channels, we've increased our channel 9,300 subscribers and 20. So I take all the energy that I have and I focus on the things that give me the most joy from that. So Coach Bob, I totally get it. I totally get it. And if it doesn't feel right and it doesn't make you feel good, then drop one for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I try to get in. Whenever I do something, I get so intense into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and you get so focused, and then I'm sure you do too, right? You wake up and you think, okay, this is where I'm going with this. So, and then you get split in both ways, but it's difficult, but I really want to get this trading down, because I see the success from some people like Arthur and, which is phenomenal. You know what I mean?
But in your imagination of what you would like to do for you and your family. See, here, I'll share with you guys, not trying to persuade anybody. You're unique and you're a miracle, continue to read, that book, The Greatest Miracle in the World, and get that focus back and knowing that. And then the next thing is like, when I found out the concept of leverage and the concept of residual, every time I step away from it, it's like, it's brutal. It is brutal, because when I was trying to be a coach and a seminar speaker and an international speaker and an author, I've seen, some of you probably seen a couple of posts, a really dear friend of mine, Gordon So, that teaches people how to be an author, and a co-author asked me to write a foreword for his newest book that's out. And so that was a hell of an honor, because that's been 4 books now that I've been asked to do the foreword for. And you guys are going, well, how do you do that if you're dyslexic? I told them to write their perfect foreword that they would want in the book, and then I read it, make a couple of changes, and I'm done. So collaboration, right? Yeah. But the reason that I'm not focused on trading is because what I love most about Akashics and TradeX Mastery is the immediate win that a person can get. I'm not aware right now, in 37 years, we used to have some products that, when people used them, they would get a result immediately, and there is nothing better than that. Nothing better than, hey, we used to have filled this warehouse with a tent in it, and all these people would come in and have a cup of coffee that had, reishi mushrooms in it, and people could feel it. They could feel it while I was doing the presentation. Well, the presentation would have to last for 2 hours, wouldn't it?
Well,
but you do understand what I'm saying, right?
Yes, exactly.
And so,
exactly.
There's people right now, and I believe it's because of their imagination. I haven't run into too many people that do tap and trade, and when I tell them what to do, that they didn't win their first trades, which is freaking amazing. You know what I mean? It's the journey after. But a lot of people would not be consistently staying into trading if they didn't have some kind of good experience.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, I did do a couple. Whoa. So I was telling you guys what I'm doing, and I'm just watching it. And the only time I trade is on Sunday nights. You know what I mean? It's supper time for me when some of the tap and trades come in, and I watch them. And I guess a bunch of people lost a bunch of money on the tap and trades that I took. I took them, and I'm sitting there watching. I'm going like 300, 400. I'm out. I'm out. I'm out. That's plenty of money for me. And I have a lot of money to think that I can look at it going to 150 and then go, I'm out. And so I posted those. You guys see me posting those. And Joel sent me a private message, and he goes, how did you win on those trades? I said, when I got my level of excitement, I'm out. And he's going, well, what happened on this other trade? And I said, oh, I lost on that trade. He comes back and he goes, how much? And I said, $14. And he's going, $14. And I said, yeah, it went from 5, 10, 14. I'm out. And it's like, he's going, that would be hard to train. And I said, yeah, but you know it. And he goes, I do. So, going into something like a sport and just knowing that you're going to throw some interception.
Yeah.
you do know the team is going to catch some fire and beat your defense. And the best quarterbacks and the best players in the world is when, they're 7 points down, 10 points down. It's going into the fourth quarter, and they just have this ability to will it to happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
Yes.
so, sometimes I guess I'm that way. It's sometimes when my back's against the wall is when I do the ultimate focus and pull out what I need to do. So I just decided that the way that I'm going to learn to trade is with the limited time that I have. I love that video. There used to be that video out there. It's on Craig and Matt if you wanted to find it. But this guy is like one of the top hit me. TED Talks. Thank you. But it's 20 minutes, so how many people have heard this phrase that it takes 10,000 hours to learn a skill and master a skill? This guy is saying, listen, no, it doesn't. It takes 20 minutes a day. And so I really like that, so if I can slate just enough time away. And then another thing that I learned in doing this is the only time that I lost is when I've won and I continue to trade. And I'll never forget, I heard this one guy one time say, oh man, he says, I'm a professional gambler. I play blackjack. And I'm going, how do you play? And he goes, well, people can't do what I do. And I said, explain. And he says, I always walk into the casino with $5,000. And he says, I walk in, I put $500 on a hand. And if I lose, I put $100 on a hand. I mean, $1,000 on a hand. And if I lose, I put $2,000. And he understands that if you just do it with $5,000, that sooner or later you win. And when you win, you walk. You're done for that day. So imagine the discipline of having $5,000 in your pocket. And he says, the reason I take $5,000 is if I lost all the hands, I'm done. See, that is discipline.
Yeah.
That is discipline because, people are like Joel, revenge traders. It's like, oh my God, I lost. Well, I'm going to win, So, when he bets 5, then 1,000 and then 2,000, 4,000, he's done.
Right.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And he goes, when you walk in and put $500 on a hand and you win it, you walk. And I'm going, yeah, that would take discipline. But is that any different than anything else? So if you wanted to teach people to make $100,000 doing what you're doing, they sure ain't going to spend the amount of time that you do every day on checking words, doing SEO, changing your websites, doing all the stuff that you did for a long time.
Yeah.
And then you had this tipping point. If you guys really want to understand what's happening with our YouTube channel right now, and I say ours, because we all worked on it together, is I just really believe that we hit a tipping point. And it's all these people that consistently say, it's like, I did a podcast 3 times a week for 3 years. And then I had this person that no one even knows come on my podcast, and I don't know why that podcast got 1 million views. And then all of a sudden, everyone was starting to come to my podcast. And then all of a sudden, people that everyone knew reached out to me and said, hey, you want to collaborate? I have, 50,000 followers. You got 20,000 followers. What if you do one on mine and I do one on yours? And the next thing you know, you got 3 million subscribers.
Yeah.
But it's like, there's a lot of people, you guys, that I am a little competitive, but there's a lot of people that you guys all know names of that just in the last week, 2 weeks, I've gone by their amount of subscribers they have.
It's awesome.
And I'm going like, yeah, they had 20. It's fun when, people come to me and they go, wow, I went to MDC YouTube channel and you got more subscribers than the company. I was like, yeah, I did. I got more videos and more views on it. So, and it's funny because it's the people that I continue to say stay in it. You know, every time I get to look at one of Lisa Marie's videos, I'm going like, she's in it to win it. She's
Yeah.
consistent. She just keeps doing it. And I promise you, she's going to get a tipping point just like we did. No doubt in my mind.
Oh,
But
yeah.
when you're looking at your subscribers and it's, you know, 1,001 and then 1,003 and then 1,003 and then next time you look 1,003 and it's like, what the hell am I doing? And it's just like trading.
Yeah.
It's exactly like trading. That you got to get to that point where, you know, so I don't do tap and trades and walk away anymore. So that means that I'm gonna discipline myself to 20 minutes a day. There's no reason for me to be on 3 different time zones and doing copy to trades and trade alerts until I master something. You know, so when I first got involved in tap and trade, I told you guys, I don't care if it takes me a year. I don't care if it takes me 6 months to pass both my challenges and get in profit, because the skills I'm going to learn in doing that.
Right.
And then I understand the compounding, you know, so that's the 8th wonder in the world by Albert Einstein. You know, it's like, you know, then you're trading $100,002 and, you know, $100,200.
Right.
So Bob, yeah, I would say that you got to do something like I'm doing, like a mind hack to make you say that you want to do it.
I got to be more disciplined. Yeah. Yeah. Like you, and then put the 20 minutes into it. And I'm going to pick up some books too and read about it, but you know, and then I got to stick to my other stuff, but I focus so much on one thing then, you know what I mean? That's just how I am. I just dig right
bad?
in. Right. I know.
Is that
I
bad?
know.
So I look at Coach Bob compared to the rest of the people on the planet. And I know that Coach Bob is in the top 5% of all the people that currently exist on this planet. So to go from 5%er to a 4%er, just you know, that's exactly what I did. I used to, to be a 10%er. I went, wow, what would it take to get into the 10%? And I'll never forget, that's where that magic number is, $100,000, and I still know the number today. That's $8,333 a month. Isn't it crazy?
Yeah. So do you think
for me to hit $1 million, I had to add another 3. You know what I mean? So 83,333. And how many of you know that number and have an imagination around that number?
I have to do that.
I do too. I do too. So I always told myself that, God, I had 758,000 people in my group that was Spanish. And I just told myself, I gotta learn Spanish. And I finally sat down with one of my top leaders that was Spanish. And he said, I think that would be the stupidest thing that you do. And I go, why? And he goes, you're the token white guy that's coming to our country, and having a translator is who you are. And I went, okay. But if you ask me how many hours have I spent trying to learn Spanish, like a lot of people that I know, like when you said, well, I'm going to get a few books and blah, 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 I would totally highly advise against that.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Find a person that you know that's documented and just keep studying that person. Yeah. So Scott, don't get mad at me, but I'm just telling you my personal experience.
Sure.
My personal experience from being a mechanic to working on professional race cars to then getting involved in this industry. I have mentors that I mention that I studied for 7 and 8 years. I don't need all the other books out there of other people's opinions. And I don't care, like Joel, for instance. Matty Pips can say, spread the love around. but I haven't seen one graphic of Matty Pips wins. And then you go and look on the leaderboard, and Joel's on the leaderboard. Yeah. So if the quarterback for the Green Bay Packers gets hurt, all I'm looking forward to is when I hope he gets healed, and I hope he comes back. It's like I'm not switching teams.
Right.
What about the other guy? For now he needs. Wait. What does he need to do for me to be his fan? He needs to prove himself.
Yeah.
Terry brought up something the other day, and I'm not throwing anyone under the bus, but she goes, "Oh, all these guys that do all this stuff in MDC, they're doing all this stuff. Is like, can any of them figure out how to get on the leaderboard?"
They're all taking selfies and
they're
wearing the high-end clothes and all that bullshit that goes with this business, which is bullshit. I'm like, cut that crap out. You don't need the Louis Vuitton backpack. You don't need the, Christian Louboutin red bottom shoes. The red bottom fucking scrapes off as you walk. It shouldn't.
And I'll give Scott some kudos here. When I say this next statement, I think it's going to shock Scott and everybody else that knows Scott. Scott probably has, in my opinion, 50 times more knowledge about network marketing than I do. He just doesn't apply it. Because it's too much. It's too much. Scott knows a lot about karate, a lot about jujitsu, a lot about taekwondo. He knows a lot about arm wrestling. He knows, Scott's got, no one's got, Scott's got any book that you guys can mention about personalities, personal development, or network marketing, and now trading. There's nobody on the planet that's read more books and did more courses than Scott. So Scott used to come on my trainings, and I would go, "Hey, have you guys heard of this book?" And he goes, "You think that book's good? Look at this one." Because Scott's favorite book was the last one that he read. Right? And I always tell people all the time, just be, I'm not picking on Scott. I just know Scott. Scott does not have to make money in network marketing and trading. Scott doesn't have to. So he does what you do, Bob. That's why I brought him on here.
Yeah.
Scott has money. Scott is smart with his money. How do I know Scott's smart with his money? Because every time I say, "Hey, are you going to the convention?" Yeah, he's going. So that means he's got money. He's always buying drinks.
Chicken wings?
Chicken wings without the bone.
He's the best host on the planet. And he pays for air flight and hotel rooms. So the guy's got money. But if we ask Scott to show us his TradeX account, TradeX Mastery account, it's probably going to look like mine. So I don't want to tell people how to trade, but I do want Scott and his MDC back office to look like mine.
I'll go for that.
So Scott, I love you. I
Or
do.
buffalo
Thank you.
wings.
Yep.
But yeah, I loved when Scott posted that. "Hey, Matty Pips said," and I'm going like, "Listen, I'm telling everyone in my group not to listen to these guys." It's like, oh my God, they're on their 15th revision of onboarding.
God.
Yeah. Hey, how about showing someone how to get a win consistently?
Yeah.
Right? It's like, look at this big group we just brought in Trinidad. I don't see any Trinidad flags on the leaderboard. Are we just in front of a room and like everyone to hear us talk, or what the hell's the deal?
I like to hear the sound of their own.
See, yeah, you guys would crack up if you seen me on stage with these guys. I just traveled with them. And it's like, I'm on stage for 10 minutes. Hey, I share these other people's videos that have already won. And then everybody does the same thing that they do to me all the time. Well, Robert, have you passed phase 1 yet? Nope. What'd you make last month? 70 grand. So Coach Bob, anything else?
Yeah, I was going to ask Matt how he's doing with this new house and moving in.
That's all
Matt.
done and finished. I'm just relaxed, chilling here, working on what I think is the next big thing, you know? So like I was involved in the trading stuff and I was taking Joel's trades. I got like really excited about it and then ate shit on a couple of those trades and I went, yeah, I'm not supposed to be doing this. Like that's the thing is like it just like everybody else, I get hyped, right? For like whatever the new shiny thing is. But you know, I don't want to go into too much detail on here as far as all the AI stuff because that's not really what this call is about. But that's where my main focus is. Absolutely.
Gotta do what you love, man. You have to do what you love.
Well, I'll be talking about it soon enough anyway. So
I tell you.
So, but everything's good with your house
yeah.
moving in,
No,
and you like
everything's
it.
great.
You like the area.
Oh, I love it. Me and Hannah both really love it. Thanks for asking. Yeah, it's more like more our speed, I guess. Like finding a specific place in California that's like your speed. You know, my parents love Orange County. We've lived there on and off. I don't know if I really loved Orange County.
You didn't live in the Orange County we lived in.
Zip code.
No, I mean I did live there and I just still didn't like it. Like when we lived in Newport, I didn't. See like some people like that luxury stuff and that's not a problem. But I'm like so well, I guess me and Hannah like we like going out and like meeting people and talking to people and stuff and there's just not to judge, but
different. We don't like doing that.
I go out all the time. What are you talking about? You're the one that stays home. Who do you think I talk to when I go out?
I guess
you know where we're living now is a lot. It's not like it's a lot more rural. Like it's not as rural as Laurel, Montana, but it's below like 300,000 people in population, and yeah, I just the people here are great. We live in wine country now, so that's kind of
I got 200,000 family members online. I got 200,000 family members online.
So yeah, I'm trying to transition into being a little bit more healthy mentally, with being out of the house. If you guys know, work a lot on the internet, do a lot on the computer, especially with this AI stuff. And me and Hannah would just go out. We used to live in Irvine, California, and we'd just go out and we hated it. You know, like the people were very selfish, didn't really communicate with you, and everything costs an arm and a leg in Orange County, and you don't feel like you're getting what your money's not going very far there. If you guys look up Irvine, I think it's like number 1 now or number 2 as the most expensive place to live in the whole country.
Are you having Javier withdrawals?
What?
Are you having Javier withdrawals?
No, because the restaurants that we have here, especially the ones at the wineries, we're in Temecula now, California, but the wineries and stuff here are amazing. So like this is the place that most people from LA and stuff drive to like get married at, right? So you have all these multi-million-dollar wineries, multi-million-dollar houses, you know? Oh. If you wanted to get a house in Orange County, you could spend $2 million and get a 3-bedroom house with like, you could reach out and touch the other person's house. And I joke, but my parents were renting a house for what? $15,000, $20,000 a month. And you could almost do that in Laguna. So that's how much little space you get. And it just costs an arm and a leg, right? And you don't get much for it. You drive out here, you see $3-4 million houses and they have like a space for their alpacas and like all this other stuff. And I think that's more mine and Hannah's vibe now, right? Like we just like the open space. We can go to and fro without ever getting on the freeway. Like I never have to get on the freeway anymore, which if you live in California, that's like one of the worst parts about California is how convoluted driving around is. Like I used to have to there would be a 5-mile drive and it would take me half an hour or more, just in freeway time. to get there. And now it's like, oh, if it's 5 miles away, it's like I could be there in a couple minutes sometimes. So I like that, you know, I like that there's less people here. I like that the people are more wholesome and like want to talk to you and like stuff like that. So
Coach
more
Bob,
my vibe.
Coach Bob, thanks for asking that question, because isn't it the similar thing, regardless of what we're doing in our life, we're trying to use our uniqueness and trying to make ourselves happy?
Oh yeah, and I love Matt. I love listening to Matt. I haven't talked to him in a long time. You know what I mean? And it's just good to catch up with him. You know, I think we're
Yeah,
all
the
like
living.
family here, anyways, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
living stuff, getting that out of the way was important, but now that we're more in this spot, I get to focus on like all of the other stuff that's happening with AI, which is, you know, growing leaps and bounds every couple of weeks, every couple of days, sometimes with certain things. And you know, if I was making videos or doing lives on it, I would have to be updating those as consistently as the Facebook ad ones at this point, if not more. So I've also directed my focus more in creating shit and less talking about creating shit and stuff. So that's where my focus is. Like make some
yeah,
shorts, make some
That's the
things,
theme
and
for me in the last
yeah.
couple of months.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe I
create
learned.
results instead of talking about them.
Well, that's the thing.
thanks.
Like you can teach so much, and you guys know this, but like you can teach so much and to the point where people ask you questions and you end up being a teacher and you're no longer being a person creating things. And the people that I admire, like the film directors and all that stuff, they don't play in the world of I need to teach the next era of filmmakers. They're out there making things, and that's who I want to be. So that's kind of where I am now. So that's why you haven't seen like a breadth or a lot of AI content from me, is because I'm like, the moment I start messing with something, my mind doesn't automatically go to, I need to sit down and shoot a video on how this works. My mind goes, you need to spend the next 3 or 4 hours playing around with this and figuring out how it works. So, yeah.
I get you. I know where
And
you're coming
everyone's
from.
focused on the trading stuff too, which is really, really great for me. Because like everyone was hammering me with all the AI questions, and then the trading stuff started to happen, and now nobody asks me questions about that. So that's great.
Yeah, now Arthur gets all the questions, and he's been doing a
Exactly.
fabulous job with
Exactly.
it.
Arthur took my job, which I appreciate.
Yeah,
But I
Arthur
just
Thanks
love
for
deserves it.
hearing
asking.
just love hearing about you, Matt. You know, I hope you're doing well there. And it's just interesting seeing some of your work. You do great work. I know you did
Thank you.
a video for us to help us out promote the trading, and that was a nice thing you did. So thanks for
Yeah,
all
no,
of that.
there's definitely more stuff. You know, I probably would make more stuff if my dad didn't want me to focus more on the stuff that's important right now with that
Sure.
type of stuff. You know, when we have conversations, and I've said this before, but you know, like AI agents from GPT to Microsoft to all these things. So an AI that you can train to do a job autonomously without any input. January is kind of the date for that, and that is a world-changing event. So that's the version of AI that takes all the customer support jobs, takes all the recruiting jobs, takes all the quality assurance jobs, that's the AI that does it. And I am not going to miss that train because that is a multi-billion-dollar train for me.
Matt,
So
you
that's
bring
where
up
I'm at.
something when you and I talk. Let me give you a perfect analogy of how me and Matt talk. Um, in racing, without getting into detail, you get told 2 years sometimes, we're going to a new body style. We're not, we're changing body styles. Everyone's going to have to use this new body style. We're changing engines. We're changing everything. The new car, they even call them, generation 3, generation 4. Well, they tell everybody based off, everything, safety data, everything, that they're going to change to this data. That's what I see AI as, because of Matt's passion with that. Then every time he reaches out to me and he says, "Hey, Dad, is there anything I can do for you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, stay on the Gen 4
Yeah.
car." You know what I mean? You
Yeah,
know,
seriously, that's
because
exactly where it's at.
I do not want to, well, it's a little bit of fear of loss, but when it does come into fruition, I just want to be on it. And Matt was the one that told me, "Dad, if I were you, I'd bail on Facebook and do YouTube." That wasn't me.
Yeah, I think one of
So
the things that, you know, like a lot of people can think about where the future will go or like what will happen. I just know that this next era of computing and technology is so massive. It's as massive as the internet, and if not bigger. And when it comes out, especially over the next year and a half, there's this Sam Altman, the guy that's the CEO of OpenAI. He made this quote, and he's like, "When agents come out, you will see the first companies that are run by 5 people that are billion-dollar companies." And he said, within a year, you'll see one company that's run by one person that's worth $1 billion, because you can train an AI at that stage to basically
Do you guys hear
run
that?
and do all of that stuff. So imagine if I needed someone to do, certain AI shots. I could train an autonomous AI to keep generating the shots until it gets the one that I specifically asked for. I don't have to sit there and do it myself anymore. And it can compute at such a level that why would I do it any other way? So my focus is all in the programming, training, teaching, and utilizing artificial intelligence at this point. Because I already told my dad this the moment that Sam Altman said that. I'm like, I am going to be one of those people.
Yeah.
So I was like excited about all this other stuff, and I know a lot of people might feel worried, and that's why I don't like talking about this too much, is because people feel like you, Dad, like fear of loss. Like, I don't want to miss this train, right?
No.
It's not necessary. Like, I don't know how to communicate to people how big the event is. I kind of said all I can say about it at this point. And if it hasn't excited you enough to like hop into it and really learn how it works, I don't really want to fear people up, but like there's a lot of stuff that's going to change, and a lot of things that people are utilizing right now there's no way you're going to beat the people that are utilizing AI agents with it. You just won't. So
And
if you're building websites, if you're doing this or that, you're just not going to beat an AI agent at doing it.
Right.
It just won't happen.
and Matt,
And it's scary.
yeah,
So
Matt, just like network marketing for you guys listening to Matt, you got to understand that whether it's network marketing or trading or anything that you do, if it doesn't give you joy and you can't fall in love with it, you can't imagine a future with it, it doesn't make a difference. It really doesn't. For 37 years, I've been able to document how I can change my life and other people's lives with network marketing. Okay, let's be brutally honest. 99.8% of people don't give a shit. And the 0.2% of people that get involved, it's not exciting for them. So they don't ever do well with it. They do not see themselves with me. They don't look at me and go, oh my God, I would love to have 10,000 active people in my group making $1 million a year. I'd love that. No, you don't. They're like, listen, I'm a piece of garbage. I'm not enough. I beat myself up. And why would someone want to work with me?
yeah,
Yeah, you need to.
I don't want to. I'll say one last thing, right? Because people just, I like want to emphasize how important this is, but like, I'm such an advocate for this technology. You guys, this is gonna ruin social media. Like, social media will never be the same the moment this happens, because as these AI agents come out, do you realize that I could take something like the TradeStars GPT that some of you guys have already used and I've trained? I could take that and spread it out 10,000 times to 10,000 different accounts and have it contact people and communicate at such a level without any regard for its own emotional feelings about yes or no's, at such a level that like people can't compete with it. And it's not a matter of, oh, it's a robot. It actually communicates better than you.
Yeah.
And like people don't realize how big
it
that's going to be.
listens. It actually listens to people.
Like, X is already utilizing this quite a bit. Like, if you scroll through the comments on X, or you scroll through the comments on some social medias, especially like Facebook, AI is already taking over, and it just needs that agent next step. It needs to not just be an API call to Chat GPT. It needs to be specifically trained to do a task autonomously, and we're almost there. And by almost there, I mean, like, even Yan LeCun, the guy that works at Meta AI, like the lead of Meta AI, said, oh, we're 10 to 15 years away from AGI, artificial general intelligence, which means it's smarter than every human being on the planet, can do anything a human being can do and better. He said 10 to 15 years, and then 2 weeks ago, he came out and said it'll happen in the next 5 years. And he's still, I think it'll happen in the next year. from my experience.
2025.
So I've linked videos and talked about how big AGI is and how big artificial intelligence is. It's big enough to scare Elon Musk. You know, Elon Musk said, I always thought that the rocket that went to Mars would have SpaceX on the side of it, and now I don't know because of AI, because AI can develop at such a rate. So what did he do? He foresaw AI being such a big deal that he practically paid to help Trump win the political election and helped significantly to get a spot in that administration just so he can oversee this technology because it's that fucking important, you guys. It's a nuclear weapon level of importance. And we cannot let another country beat us there. We cannot let another it's that important. And so like I could talk about it forever, obviously. Like I said, this is not an AMA about AI. And like I said, I've spoken about AI. We used to have the Imaginators groups and stuff, and I would speak on it quite a bit. But my observation of it has changed quite drastically. Like I said, I went from a training advocate telling everybody about it to going, like, to be honest, guys, this is the part of me that I'm getting from my dad now as I get older. If nobody cares, then you just don't care. You're just going to be left behind. That's fine.
Yep.
Like it's unfortunate. I don't want to be rude or mean about it, but you're 6 months away from getting left behind permanently. There won't be a catch up period for this. There won't be a retraining for this. So people like me are gonna
be. So most people don't want to be first advantage. I seen something on LinkedIn today, and we always talk about the third. 1/3 of all people that work at home now have a side hustle.
Well, they got to, right?
Hey, I think they see the writing on the wall. It's like it's different when you have someone sitting in your office every day. You go, how in the hell can I replace that person? Then all of a sudden they go home over COVID, and now you get to just see what they work on, and you go, maybe I can replace that person.
Let me show you guys something real quick. Let me open Chat GPT here. I don't know why that's not working. Hold on. There it is, right? So I can zoom in on this a little bit so you guys can see if it will let me. Anyways, this was TradeStars GPT. I'm going to zoom in because this isn't working. Hold on, let me find a different way to do it. Because I want to show you guys, like there's moments in time where I was like, oh, I'm gonna make a video about this, but I just use it myself now, right? So I test this thing and I wanted to see, okay, so if I just took a random picture, right, with no information at all whatsoever about a graph, and then with that graph, sent it to TradeStars GPT and asked it what the pattern was called, if it could tell based off of a picture what was going on. Not only did it know what was going on, I asked it, it said the pattern invisible appears to be the bullish breakout or a breakout candle. This occurs. This could signify the beginning of an uptrend, and it gives me the information. This is based off what Joel trained already. Then I asked what might happen next. It gave me multiple scenarios of what could happen next based off of what it was seeing. And then I kept sending it pictures, and it kept giving me observations of what it thought would happen next based off of all of the training that Joel had already done on all these patterns, right? So then it gave me recommendations. If you're looking to reinvest, wait for it to pull out to this certain zone, enter a long position, do this, do this, do this. I'm having a full conversation with what is almost Joel or multiple traders about live trading things. And the only thing that's missing from this is it being able to see it live on video. And that is months away, you guys. So then I'll have TradeStars GPT watching the candles go. And then when agents come out, what do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to train an agent to pull the trigger on these. Because all that is an API call to TradeLocker. So we'll see how that does, because some people remember the gold bot, right? Now I would say that the gold bot was like Gen 1. This is like Gen Alpha, Gen Mega, whatever you want to call it, right? Like this is the end game version of it. But yeah, if you want to find TradeStars GPT, go to roberthollis.com/trade GPT. drop some pictures in there, ask it some stuff. You can have a conversation with it. I've promoted this a couple of times. Let me see here how many people have used it. So it's had over 100 conversations, and I'm very, very still questioning how many of those are me. So it's funny, right? Because like I consistently train this thing with all of the new information that comes out consistently. It's not lacking any of the information that has been taught. And this is one of the main issues in the future is like, imagine being able to train an AI and then you can take it further, right? Okay. So I make an AI agent that trades and pulls out at a certain position based off of the factors that it sees. Maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't. Maybe, you know, maybe if I wanted to not blow up my TradeX Mastery account, instead of having it trade a certain percentage, I would make it open up 100 or 50 separate trades that are really small and close them out very quickly. Instead of having it get too close to the daily drawdown, right? Maybe I'll have it take small, significant $1 to $2, $3 wins, but if it takes 300 $1 to $2, $3 wins based off of what, I forget what they call that. Hannah, what do they call that? Scalp trading. So if you taught it to do that and you've seen how it went, and then you just take it a step further. Okay, can ChatGPT allow you to sell AI agents? Not only yes, it will happen. So then I just have a copy paste code and send it to you and you set it up and it does everything for you the same way. How do you beat that? What does that do to the stock market? What does that do to the market as a whole? We'll see. So that's where I sit with it. It's like a we'll see situation because I have no idea what will happen when anyone can use this technology and it's easy, when it becomes iPhone level, right? And I'm in the beginnings of it, but it is drastically and quickly becoming iPhone level where my grandma could click 2 or 3 buttons and have an AI trading for probably in the next year. And you ask like I said, you ask yourself, what is the end goal of that? What happens when that happens? You know, what happens to industries? What happens? Someone already said in chat, they lost their job already to AI.
Wow.
So that's my rant. I know that's probably a little extensive and a little scary. I'm not a firm believer in that AI is going to show up and Terminator us all. That's not what's going to happen. But I am a firm believer that this technology is so vast and experienced and it learns like we do, but it just does it at a level that we can't, right? So it's really, teaching this has taught me so much about myself too and how we learn, because it kind of learns the same way, right? Through trial and error. And when it doesn't have that fear aspect that we do, that stops us from doing the trial and error part, it's pretty good at it. It learns pretty fast. So, you know, if you got a job right now in AI, odds are you'd have a job in what they call like quality assurance testing for AI. So it would come up with 2 separate answers, and sometimes GPT does this and says which one is better, right? Which one of these 2 options is better? There's people that get paid over $100,000 a year to say that option is better than this option right now, right? From Google and all these places. You just need to go on the internet, get a certification, and you can work from home and do it right now. That's how big of a deal AI is, right? People don't want to do that. It's just the way it is. But it's taught me a lot about myself because it's like trial and error, right? I look at something and I go, okay, I'm going to try it this way. Didn't work. I'm going to try it this way. I'd spit out the wrong thing. I obviously fed it information that I need to go back and fix. So, yeah. Rant over. I don't know. You guys have any questions?
We had a great conversation about this on our podcast about, you know, that people just mentally don't understand that figuring out ways that don't work brings you to the process of figuring out how it works, what works and what doesn't. And
yeah,
Matt's laughed at me the whole time because I'm the kind of guy that I'll start advertising on Facebook and I know nothing about Facebook advertising. I'm the guy that grabs on, and right now you guys will see the next one that I'll figure out is X. I'll figure it out. The first 3 things I tried to advertise and promote on X, they failed. And I'm going, how can it fail if it's nothing but a picture and a nice positive comment? And people go, well, why don't you read the policies and procedures? Because that's a waste of time for me. I will find an ad that goes through, and when it goes through, then I'll find a couple that won't go through, and I'll make some changes, and I'll just keep doing it, just like I'm doing with the YouTube channel. But Matt used to laugh at me all the time. He's going, I'm going to figure all this other stuff out. And I'm going like, well, I'm just going to keep promoting shit. I'm just going to.
Well, that's truth be told, like that's a lot of people fear AI and fear like getting involved in anything to do with it, even using Chat GPT consistently for like almost anything, right? They fear utilizing that based off of the same things. It's like, well, what if I did something wrong, or what if this happened, or what if this happened? And I all of that knowledge from doing the Facebook ads and everything, I carried in as I got older into this and went, you're not doing that with this. You're going back to the same thing that made you creative in the first place, which was trial and error. So TradeStars GPT, this is version 4. The first 2 versions you guys never saw because they weren't good enough. But this 4th version, I believe, is quite good at what it does. So at least from my practice. Now, could it be wrong? Yeah, of course it could be wrong. But we'll see, you know, like I am just optimistic about where everything's going. Like the whole political spectrum happened, and I really didn't even have an attachment to it because I'm so involved in this stuff and see it as the next frontier. It's the frontier for space. It's the frontier for technology, medicine, everything.
Wow, being locked into your imagination and actually creating all day. That's where I live.
Yeah, when I was like 15 or 16, I said to my dad, I'm like, one thing that I would love to do in my life is figure out how to reinvent the education system for like a modern person, because it just doesn't work for a modern world anymore. Like it just doesn't, right? Like if TikToks are more interesting than learning things, then something's messed up with your brain, right? That's not true. It's just the education aspect is so boring in comparison, and they don't want to fix it. Then AI showed up, and I went, I don't have to do that in my lifetime now. My children, grandchildren, all down the line will have an AI tutor that trains them and teaches them different things about the world at the rate that they want to learn. And you could do that right now with your kids. Have them have a conversation with it. It could help them do their math homework and teach them how to learn calculus, anything you want at their level. You take pictures of their homework and have a full conversation voice with it, and it sounds like a human being and stops when you interrupt it and everything like that. The power of that for a learning environment, it should already be introduced in schools, and yet it's not. And it's because, I don't know, maybe it's just not at that level yet. But the people that do use that to train or to help the next generation, that next generation will just push the other generation out of the way. It's really that big of an event. It's like, the internet is the only example I have, because before the internet, and then this is before I was born, but before the internet, there was a large amount of jobs like based around information and data, just file cabinets of shit. You know what I mean? Of information that we had to capture and keep. And then the internet exists, and it's like, we can just create a Wikipedia now and have all the information online. We don't need file cabinets that can burn down if the place burns down. This information now is permanent, right, on the internet. And that was a life-changing event for me, because when I grew up, if I ever had a question, my dad was very smart, and instead of saying, oh, go to the library and get books, he said, Google it, go on the internet, go on Wikipedia and figure it out. I'm sure there's YouTube videos on it. I'm sure there's this, that. He was absolutely right. And so I learned a lot of the stuff that you guys see still to this day, because my learning process is completely different. My generation's learning process is completely different. So I hope that the next generation utilizes these tools a lot. So, and like Jerome said, no more bullying too. The AI is not going to bully your kids.
Terry and I's thought pattern was, if I always made sure that Matt and his brother Kyle had the fastest internet speed that was available in where we lived, and the fastest computer, that I wanted them to be attached. And I knew that if they didn't like history, they wasn't going to Google history. And if they didn't like math, they wasn't going to Google math. See what I mean? It's like, wow, Matt started, you asked Matt about a movie or a director or some kind of anything that does anything
books, movies. I have a lot of knowledge with
Creativity.
that stuff.
He-
I'm
he
good at
just-
trivia stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm interested in it. You know, if you asked me who's the best ever racer to ever live as far as sports cars go, I would not know even the top anybody. You know what I mean? And that's the thing, is like a lot of people see certain things, like they'll hear me talk about AI and they'll even hear me say some fearful statements like people are going to get left behind. Left behind in like something maybe that you're doing right now that you don't already like. You know, the next version of the world with artificial intelligence will actually give you the opportunities to follow the creative threads that you've had in your mind since you were a little kid and that you maybe threw to the sidelines because finances got in the way of that. And so now when artificial intelligence exists and you can sit down with an AI agent, and I'm not talking about programming it, I'm talking about having a conversation with it and going, I want you to help me accomplish this goal. My goal has always been to write a children's novel, a children's book, coloring book, whatever. And this is what I want in it. And it'll sit there and create the pages with you and talk through the story with you and design the whole thing with you. And then you can sell it. And this was like having an artist at your hand, having a proofreader at your hand, you know, a copywriter at your hand. And
The
some of us
illustrator.
that are in marketers, or
Illustrator.
some of us that are in marketing, we already know this, right? Because we've used it. So think of it in that ways. Don't be worried about it. It's like, okay, if you work in like a job that you already don't like and AI replaces it, just utilize AI to develop the next job, the next thing that you've always wanted to do. Don't get left behind and become bitter about it like most people are doing right now. The amount of like AI hate that I get consistently is quite vast. You know what I mean? Like people do not like AI right now, especially in the artistic world.
Oh,
Yeah, and when I was telling everyone that I was using the internet, and Terry and I decided to homeschool our sons, you wouldn't believe the stuff that people said to us. It's like, you got to be out of your mind. And Terry's favorite statement was, if someone's going to bully my kids, it's going to be me. You know what I mean? It's like, so
She didn't, by the way.
yeah.
I was
But
gonna push him up against the refrigerator.
I don't know if that was just because we were good kids or what, but yeah.
give me your lunch.
No,
a couple of times she walked into his room and knocked the mouse out of his hand.
Yeah.
and I love some of the things people are saying in chat too, because it's the
Get a
truth.
book?
Like, Jim, you're right. People feared computers. People feared the internet. If you want to go back to artists, I think I said this on the podcast, but I'm dealing in the animation world and a lot of these other worlds with artificial intelligence. And people just despise this stuff, right? Like there's now movies and shorts coming out. There's this Japanese movie that just came out and it's all AI generated. Like they created the whole film and people were just pissed off about it, right? Because it's also based off of something that used to be physically animated. And I was like, yeah, 3D animation came out, and I don't know if you guys know how 3D animation works, but you move a hand and you put a keyframe, and then you move the hand and you put a keyframe, and it makes it move. When that first came out with computers, everyone that hand drew animation said this is not animation. And now it is animation. Find hand-drawn animation somewhere. It's rarer to find that than it is to find the keyframed version. So people just change.
And you can get an Oscar for a movie that doesn't use that animation,
There's still a lot of work that goes into it, but it's about to be, 90% of VFX artists are about to lose their jobs. So only the best will be in there still. Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Phenomenal. Great listening to you, Matt. I love to listen to you. You know what I mean? And, I know about AI, but you know so much. You're like ahead of,
Well, is there a spot
what I mean?
that
You're
you're
ahead
interested in that you'd want to know about? Like what interests you about it?
AI. I'm just trying to get in. What I use it for a lot is writing websites, writing
Like
on websites and
copywriting.
stuff. Yeah. So, but I'm getting in more involved now. I was trying to write a script for trading. Okay. For trade view, so I'm loading in all these videos of this trader, a good trader, whatever. I just take anybody, right? Like Joel, and I load in all of his videos and I get his patterns and what he uses. And then try to write a script for that, right? And then, because I want to learn kind of with AI how he's doing it.
That's smart. That's why I said it's a great tutor. That's kind of why I made TradeStars GPT, because I was like, how can I have somebody where every single time you hit a wall, you don't have to go post in the
Right.
Telegram group and have like 10 people respond to you to go to another Telegram group. You know what I mean? So like odds are TradeStars GPT right now could answer almost any of those questions other than the customer support questions. Because obviously, if you get billed wrong or something, it can't help you there, but
Right.
not yet.
But
Yeah.
Not yet.
You're
Yeah.
phenomenal, Matt. Love listening to you. I could listen to you all day. You're just
Thanks,
brilliant.
Coach
You're
Bob.
you're walking AI.
I love Matt. He's
I
so
am kind of.
passionate. Is so passionate about what he does.
Yes.
He gets on and he answers a question like, well, no. And it's like, but I'm not going to go on a rant. And then all of a sudden it's like, there we go. Yeah.
It's
So,
in
I
that.
mean,
My mom's pointing at my dad. It's in my genes.
yeah, it totally is. It's like, what color is the sky? Oh my God, that's a forever question. I'll keep telling you. Well, it's the way you see it.
Right.
Why does it look gray to you? It doesn't look gray to me.
Imagine if you're colorblind, Yeah.
Yeah. Wonderful, Matt. Thank you.
Well,
Thanks so much.
I
Thank
seen
you.
Lisa Marie have her hand up, so let's run her in here before we.
Yeah, and Arthur said that he also wanted to share. So let's go ahead.
Oh, cool.
What does Arthur
Thanks so
want?
much. Have a great weekend, guys. Matt.
You
everybody.
too.
Coach Bob, thank you. Matt, of course, thank you as always. I mean, wow,
Hey.
what a great conversation. All right, let's go ahead and go over to Lisa Marie. Lisa Marie, there you go. Please open up and share with us.
Hey guys.
Her microphone works.
It does. There's always something that doesn't work, it seems like, but thanks for letting me hop on. And I didn't need to. I figured you got things you want to watch or whatever, but I did have a win, and I'm not a Tomas or anybody like that, but I just found out that I have my three. I have my three as of today. So I am super excited about that.
I'm proud of you. I'm super.
Thank
Aren't you
you.
proud of you?
I am. The only thing that sucks is I'm not going to be able to see it until the 28th, 29th, and the 30th. The rest of the month it says I have
I
zero.
remember the conversations that me and Arthur had when he got on there. He goes, "Hey, I got funded," and I went, "That's awesome." And I go, "Now what?" And he goes, "I gotta wait." I'm like losing my mind.
But anyway, I'm excited. That's a huge
Thank
win
you for
me,
sharing, and
so.
I know that you had Eagle on here, so thank you very much, Eagle.
No, not me. I think Jody. Jody
Oh,
had
Jody.
Eagle.
Oh. I was
Yeah.
like, okay. So hi,
Yeah.
Eagle. I hope you're learning something. Great.
Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to share that, and you know what? I am very disciplined. I'm learning.
Yeah.
In the trading thing, I am very disciplined. So I will get it.
Yeah, why? If you guys watch that, part of the discipline in that video too, if Craig posted it, was how to learn something in 20 minutes. Is again like Arthur does the mind hack. When you find out, oh, I can only play 2,000 songs if I learn 3 chords. So why don't I just practice those 3 chords? I'll just practice those 3 chords. And then in the way that you play them and the timing that you're playing, everyone goes, oh, I know that song. Isn't that crazy? So, so when you break down the things that you need to do, like me, if someone's asked me even today, and you've known me for a long time, Lisa Marie, it's like people are like, I don't understand, Robert, how you build groups so fast. And it's because I actually pique the interest of more people than anyone I know. Because if they're not interested, I'm moving on.
Yeah, that's uncanny how you
now
can
with
do
all the
that.
spam people reaching out to me, because that's another thing that everyone's talked about. It's like, hey, you got 8 followers on social media. A lot of people don't reach out to you. Then all of a sudden you have hundreds of thousands of people, and now everyone's copying your profile. because you got an audience and everyone starts spamming you and everyone's trying to get you. Oh my God, if I could get this guy in, he's got 200,000 people following him on social media. If I could get him in, oh my God, his influence. And it's like, I'm in my mind, I'm going, I've never reached out to like Bill Gates and asked him if he's open to an opportunity. But I know that not everyone thinks the way I think. So they actually believe if they reach out to me, there's a possibility of me dropping everything I'm doing and getting involved in their opportunity.
I pictured myself going to Gary V. He's mine.
Yeah, and it's like I really love, you guys know I followed that guy, Alex Hermosa, for a while. I followed him. And
Alex Hormozy.
Yeah, that's where Matt is going to really get people, because Alex said there's so many talented people out there now that he won't even return a person's message unless they actually do something for him first. Think about that, right? Wow. So Matt all of a sudden puts together an incredible AI movie. And then he sends it to people going, hey, I just wanted to let you know that this is something that I did for you. I already signed over the rights and you can use it. And they see it and they go, we need to call this guy. You see what I mean? And people don't think that far forward. So, it's just, so Alex said there was one guy that he just recently hired where the guy goes, hey, I just wanted to ask, did you recently get a lot more people that were looking at your ad? And Alex said, hang on. And he goes, yeah, we got like 4,000 spikes in one day. That was me. So he drove people to Alex's funnel and then called them up and said, can I work for you? That's the way to get someone's attention, instead of saying, hey, I looked at your YouTube channel and it sucks. Can I, that's the ones that I get. Everybody reaches out to me and goes, hey, you know how much your YouTube channel sucks? I can make it work for you.
Here would be a response. This is my.
Oh, right? You get I like your YouTube channel. I can do this for you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I'm going, I said, listen, I'm working with two of the best people on the planet that's helping with me a YouTube channel. You don't know Craig Jackman and Matt Hollis? And they go, no. And I go, you should.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Yeah, there you go. It's funny because, and I feel like that too. I have people that I know. I got people.
Yeah. Yeah. It's and so with AI, like Matt talked about, I just don't know why that stuff bothers people, Lisa. I really don't. People reach out to me and go, hi. And I go, hi. And they come back and go, where do you live? And depending on who I am and the time that I'm at, I'll go nowhere close to you.
Yeah, right.
And they come back and right away I can tell that they're doing a script. The only reason that I do something they don't expect, and the very first thing that they say to me, like if they say, hi, dear, and I come back and I go, hi, moose. And you'll notice
sorry, that's
they
funny.
won't miss a lick. They won't even address that you said, dear moose. Now I'm talking to AI. I'm talking to someone that's a robot. They're dead. You know what I mean? They're just like going through the numbers, just like a spammer would.
Right.
Just like and then I always love when people reach out to me and go, hey, I think this is a fake account. And I go, it was a fake account. That's why you reached out to me. And they go, how did I know? Because you contacted me on my real channel. Can you imagine?
Oh my goodness.
Hey, this is Lisa Marie. Hang on. What are you doing? Just hang on. Hey, Lisa Marie, this is Robert. How you doing? What's up? Hey, there's other person saying they're you.
We've had that conversation, haven't we?
We have. It's like people want to know if someone's got a fake account and then they call you because they know what your real one is. It's like
That's funny.
here's your sign. Here's your sign.
You know what? You made a point. In fact, you talked to me about this. I might have been on the last Ask Me Anything, maybe 2 ago. I don't recall, but you had said something to me about how you react. Something about reactions. And I thought to myself, like 3 times since then, that same conversation where you said how you react. But I was thinking, it really depends.
If you don't
My reaction
if you don't feel good in your reaction, it was the wrong fucking reaction.
Right. But does it not depend how you react?
Think about this. You're supposed to be already in the happy, joyful mood in the vortex, right? And right everything. And then someone sends you a message and you're distracted and it says hi. And you get pulled out of the vortex and you go, what the fuck do you want? I mean, wow. So how I stay in it is I got to stay in that joyful, playful place, right? Hi. And it's like, hey, do you normally reach out to people that are happy and successful and try to get them to change their mind?
Right.
And I see their next response and it's block, delete. It's like most of the people that reach out to me is block and delete. But guess what? Do I still respond? Yes. I had one today. I at least have 1 or 2 a week. They said hi. And I reach out to them and I go, hi. I said, is there anything I can do to help you? Yes, I clicked on your Telegram link that's on your YouTube channel, and I'm really interested.
Great, get your wallet.
You know what I mean? Can you get me more information? Can you imagine if I just went block and delete? Here's another spammer. He said hi. And it was a woman. And then I just kept sending her links. And then she said, oh my God, she said, I don't get paid till Friday. And she says, well, please tell me that I can do it on either Sunday or Monday. And I go, I'll see what I can do. But I think I can get you in.
Nice.
Yeah, because it's December 2nd. So
right. Well, yeah. Oh, I did it till 2nd. Anyway, I was tickled. I wasn't expecting it today to get my 3. I was expecting it not to happen till Monday, but it happened today. So
I'm proud of you. That is so cool.
Yeah, I'm excited. Thanks for letting me share. Love you guys.
I love you.
Thank you so much, Lisa Marie. Appreciate that. Arthur, I'm coming to you in just a quick second. Robert, I just wanted to share that video is from Josh Kaufman. And he says he discovered it takes 20 hours to learn something, just 45 minutes a day for about a month.
I was way off.
So just FYI, I did post the link in the chat, and I'll post the link. Okay. This is from Josh Kaufman. It was a TED Talk. 20 hours to learn anything. Okay. And he said he discovered it takes 20 hours to learn something, get the hang of it, in just 45 minutes a day for about a month.
Got
it. It comes together, but in a sense, what you were exactly saying, Robert, where it's 20 minutes a day, or in this case, it's 45 minutes a day. Just consistently doing that. So blocking that out.
And if you were wondering how you could get a schedule together for that, talk to ChatGPT. Because I had ChatGPT make my whole schedule, print out a calendar SRT, and then I put it right into my phone, and now my whole calendar has all my events. I didn't set any of it up myself. So,
you know, in the old closing days, that I see people still using these questions. And I'm going like, are you insane? Are you insane? It's like you wouldn't ask anybody what their pager number is. Hey, Scott, what's your pager number? It's like, what is wrong with you? So that's what some of this old teaching does. So the deal was on a scale to 1 to 10, you watch the presentation on a scale to 1 to 10, where would you say that your interest level is? I don't watch presentations anymore. And if I am, I'm watching them distracted. I'm doing my best with all these new guys, young guys that are in the company, right? And I'm going, you guys have people on all these live presentations that take over an hour, and you actually think that people are paying attention. That's what's fucking funny. They have 5 windows open if they're on a laptop, and if they're on their phone, they're listening to it, but they're going back and forth, texting on TikTok and doing all. Man, it used to be, at least my mentor was smart enough to tell me this. He goes, Robert, when you do a presentation, do you believe that people retain less than 10% of anything that you said? Have you guys ever sent someone a presentation and then they come back and they say, listen, can you tell me what I need to do to make money? Apparently you didn't watch any of the frickin' video. It's like people ask you questions of the videos they were supposed to watch. Have you guys noticed that? Why? Because they're distracted 8-10 seconds into the video. They're already distracted. So now you got these people that are trying to do this old stuff and they don't know why it's not working in this day and age. And me, I just keep making shorter videos and realizing the shorter videos that I get that I'm sending out to people, that people are not watching all of the short videos. Hey, when you get a video down to 15 seconds and they watch 8 of it, yeah. And so, you know, people are going to try to have to find a way to say as little as possible to as many people as you can, as fast as you can. I'm still mentally in that place. So thank you, Craig, for bringing that up. I just brought that up, that one of the closing things that we used to say is, do you have $500 and are you willing to put in at least 45 minutes a day? That is a great question. So if any one of you wanted to learn how to do anything in life, shouldn't the first question be, is when am I going to take 45 minutes and dedicate just to this new skill? Is there, and if your mind goes, no, I'm not interested in giving up any of my time, then how about just not do it? That's okay. That's okay. Don't you guys get it? It's okay to say, I can't commit to 45 minutes a day. I can't do it. So Terry and I walk every morning with Dex and Leo.
All wrapped up in all kinds of, we passed a guy today, he was in shorts and a lightweight shirt, and I got my hat, my earmuffs, another hat over it, my long winter coat, and he probably thought, those two dipshits, they must think it's like really cold. And
we're all bundled up, man. But guess what? The dogs know that it's around 8 o'clock. I know that it's around 8 o'clock. And Terry asks the same question every morning. She looks at me and she goes, are we ready to go? And then Dex and Leo start flipping out, barking and jumping on chairs and doing everything. And it's like, get your ass up and dedicate that 30, 35, 34 minutes to your walk and just do it. So if you can't put that kind of time in, then why just tell yourself, I always tell people, don't use excuses. Just say this out loud to yourself. Say this out loud to yourself. That is not a priority for me because it's not important. And you need your mind to go, bullshit. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, I need to figure out how to pique interest of people as fast and quick as I can. I I'd rather read a book or maybe go to a course or jump on a bunch of Zooms and tell everyone the last book that I read. It's
I was
like,
gonna say, since you brought up courses, Dad, I saw this funny meme today where it said, "Making a course is the OnlyFans for men."
That's funny.
It's like, hey, if I don't know anything else to do, it's time to make a course.
Yeah, it's time to make a course. And then guess what? Everybody wants to create a new course because learning to market it's a pain in the ass, right, Matt?
It is. Yeah. Well, it's funny because like one of the funny things in AI right now is these faceless AI YouTube channels. And there's a massive amount of people that are like, you can make hundreds of thousands, millions just having a faceless YouTube channel using AI. And you like, if you click through all these, what's so funny about it is that they were making millions with AI YouTube channels. Why are they selling you a course to teach you how to do it? You know, like the truth of the matter is they're not. That's
listen, you guys, Warren Buffett or his partner, what's his name again?
Charlie Munger.
Charlie Munger. They have a video on this. If you said that right there, is Warren Buffett, I think, was the person that said it. And he goes, you know what the biggest crack up is right now? He goes, you can go on the internet and learn from anybody how to be wealthy.
Right.
And he goes, but yet me and Charles never created a course.
Right.
We're too busy.
It's like I said,
wealthy.
like I said yesterday on the podcast, I said, there's so much information telling you to get 1% better every single day. So much stuff to motivate you to do shit. Right. And I said, do you think Steve Jobs and Elon Musk wake up every day and go, just 1% better today? They're not even thinking about that. They're so excited about what they're doing. They're not thinking about how to motivate themselves to do it.
Right.
You know, so how you can find the thing that makes you feel that way. For me, that's AI. So
I've seen a podcast. I think it was recently a small clip from a podcast with Joe Rogan, and he was talking to some guy that I don't know. And it was cool because it was again about imagination. And all he said was, he said, can you guys imagine? I love when people say that about someone. Can you imagine that Elon Musk was sitting around going, boy, do you know where I could be right now with SpaceX? If I could launch a rocket every time I was ready? No, I can't. Because there's a governmental agency that says that I only can do 5 a year. And he's going, how can I? These guys are up my ass on everything. How can I find a way to influence the people that make these decisions? And he sits around, he's going, I got to find a way. I got to find a way. What if I bought Twitter? And can you guys see where his mind was just trying to solve this situation? And Trump's not even in office yet. And the FAA came out and said, oh, by the way, we changed our mind. SpaceX now can do 25 rockets a year. He said he never requested more. Someone said, did you hear Elon Musk? And he's going to just shut down the FAA. How many of you guys are a little worried when you think about him saying, hey, I got to find a way to get rid of these agencies that are holding me back?
I don't want to like guess, right? But like when he initially bought Twitter, it was like, what's the long-term play here? And now that we see what it is, it's pretty obvious to see when he keeps posting going, we're going to get rid of the IRS and we're going to do this and that. For a normal person, they might look at that and go, holy shit. But for somebody that's aware of where AI currently is, they know that that's going to happen anyway.
Right.
So like the interesting thing is
it's going to make him look like more of a genius as these things.
Yeah, because when XAI hits that moment in time and starts running the IRS department for everybody, and you just get something and it's not this complex thing anymore, and he eliminates, TurboTax and all these other things, everybody will be like, shit, that's actually a lot better. You know what I mean? It's like, why didn't we have this before? So anybody here love the IRS?
No.
Yeah.
I guess Peter's out of a job, right? Yeah, Matt and Kyle don't even know how taxes get paid.
No, that's why you have a CPA.
It's like Matt gets a couple of papers from our CPA and our bookkeeper every year, and it's like, hey, how do you do this? And it's like, sign these. Okay, thanks a lot. And then all of a sudden the taxes are paid and we move on.
And I can't wait for that to be more things in my life.
Yeah.
Like my mom gives me shit sometimes because me and Hannah, the moment that Amazon started delivering groceries to your front door, you think I go to the grocery store? I just tip the guy and I don't go to the grocery store. It's worth $15, $20 for me not to have to drive to the grocery store and do it myself. And so we don't go to the grocery store.
Yeah. Your mother says two things on repeat.
I gotta get out of my house.
Two things on repeat that she won't change. She says, I don't like to cook and I'm not a good cooker. All right. So she just says these on repeat, but then, at 5 o'clock, she gets up off the stairs and she's
a delicious meal.
A delicious meal. God, she says she's not a bad cook and look at me. You know what I mean? It's like, come on. All right, Craig, we got anybody else?
Arthur.
Yeah, if we can squeeze in Arthur, I think we can do that. Arthur, you wanna join us here? Where are you? Oh, there he is. There he is. Okay. Sorry, I had to. All right, Arthur, go ahead. Unmute yourself and please share with us.
I had to restart my computer, so
we can't hear you.
You can.
Oh my God. See?
What?
Arthur, I get that all the time too. So you're okay.
But now he is muted. You guys.
Oh no, you jinxed him.
I did not touch nothing.
It was Craig's fault. It's Craig's fault.
Oh,
thank you. I needed that.
Craig thought I was. Yeah, I got it.
I just wanted to comment on
Your sign language?
Yes. I forget what we were talking about then.
No, I said I just made a decision based on my experience that I'm not going to take a tap to trade where someone's selling. And,
gotcha.
Yeah, and here's my thought about it. The people that tried to mess up Robinhood and also what was the Bad Money or whatever the one show?
Dumb Money.
And then also the big fail where all the banks fell because of mortgages. I just don't think that it's me. I'm talking for me, nobody else. That betting against something just seems to me to be a different energy. Just a different energy that I'm leaning on someone's tap and trade that believes that the market's going to go down. And so, unfortunately, because of those things, I haven't had a good experience. If you look at all of my trades and you see the ones that are in red, they got a sell symbol by them, not a buy symbol.
Yeah. The only time I did take sell trades were when the market was trending hard down. But the only other person that I really take sell trades from are like Javid, but they're not on gold. They're on some other currency. So I'll take like Javid sells.
Yeah, what does he do? Like the British pound or some kind of?
Yeah, the British pound usually, paired against the U.S. dollar. And I'm like, well, the U.S. dollar probably is getting stronger, so the British pound is probably going down. So I'm going to take the sell. So, that's what my thought was on it.
Have you played around with any of the stuff that Joel is doing with Bitcoin?
Yeah, I've won more than I've lost on the Bitcoin, and he's gotten like some really huge like wins out of that. And I'm like some of them, I'm like, damn it, I should have stayed in. I could have rode that all the way up higher, but I got out, to get
like
the
I
profit.
did.
Yeah.
Like I didn't do Bitcoin, but yeah, I really, for me, again, personally, you guys are going to hear me say this a lot moving forward, because I don't want you guys doing anything other than what gives you guys joy. What's part of your imagination? Stop following people because it's not yours. You know what I mean? And as I'm doing things, I'm just figuring out things that I like to do, and me not being involved in the trade is not good for me. It's not good for me because it puts me in a negative mentality. All right. So if I click tap to trade and I'm not watching it and I'm not involved, then my mind's going, it's probably going down. Not once have I did a tap to trade, not watch it and go, I bet she is profiting like a motherfucker. Yeah, I don't do that. It's like, oh my God, if I don't watch it, it's going to go down. And I'm going like, how do I change that mindset? So Terry was laughing at me the other day because when I was doing it, she glanced over her shoulder and our chairs are sitting next to each other. And I was doing this. And Terry's going, what are you doing? And I
stroke.
Yeah, and yeah, are you having a stroke? Like put a spoon in your mouth or something. But it like, but I showed her the screen and I said, I'm just willing this price to go up. You know what I mean? And I'm just constantly looking at it, just going, how do I feel about this? How do I feel about this? Not what I wish it would do or wish it wouldn't do. Is just how do I feel about this? How do I feel about this? So yeah, any kind of
It's funny you say that because most of the losses that I've had were ones that I left open overnight and I wasn't watching. I just went to sleep. I wake up and I lost like 3 trades, 4 trades or whatever. And I'm like, they were all in the green when I went to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joel was taking too good a care of us for those couple of weeks, man. I would go to bed, wake up, and it'd be like cha-ching, and I'd be like, awesome, man.
And that's the other thing too, is like I've told Joel this privately. I said, people have like a lottery mindset where they think you're always just gonna win. I'm like, and you're spoiling them with the tap to trades if you're winning like all the time, and they get like too used to that, and they never learn how to trade. I'm like, they never take manual trades, but then they get mad at you and go complain when they have losses. I'm like, first of all, they're risking too much. They have too big of a lot size, or they have too many trades open and they lose their account and they're complaining to you.
Yeah.
I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. I'm like, they
well, I love his like I told you guys already when he was in the panel in Dubai. You know what I mean? And Josh just said straight out. So these are all leaders. Hopefully they can get this message back to the rest of the people in their group. But when you lose a trade and other people took your trade and you and them lost money, what do you have to say about that? I don't care. I could give a shit. And I think that a lot of people went, wait a minute, he works for the company and I lost money. This son of a bitch should care. No, because he's on his own trading plan. He's on his own trading plan. And I remember I think someone said, really? I think someone just said, really? And he goes, listen, no one told you to take my trade. No one told you to take my trade. And see, there's where people get their feelings hurt. You know what I mean? It's like a pitcher or someone that's a good home run hitter, and they go out 3 times, they get up during the 9 innings and they strike out every time. It's like you look at all the fans in the stands and all the millions watching on TV, and people think he did that on purpose. See, it's really freaking insulting to think that someone that does their best wouldn't always want to be doing their best. So I've seen Joel's mentality change because of the amount of people that just go off on him. And they're not going off just on him. Then they're reaching out to Josh and going, you got to do something about this. And Josh goes, okay, I'll ground him. I'll ground him for a little while.
I'll take his phone.
Well, when he grounds and then people log into Akashics and they don't see him in tap and trade anymore, I think Josh is a little smarter than we all thought he is. It's like, I'll turn Joel back on because Joel doesn't care.
Yeah, he's trading.
Joel doesn't care. Joel's still knocking it out of the park because he continues to get up to bat. And he's going, let me wait for the chat to change. And when the chats change, the messages, I start getting messages. Can you please bring Joel back? Can you please?
but he's still sending out trade alerts, and the people can still take his trades with the trade alerts, but they don't.
They don't.
They
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 don't.
don't. And if you look at like his any of like his when he posts like his winnings of his actual account, he's not
God.
he's risking like 0.1 on a trade lots, 0.2 on lots. So they're not like big risky things,
And he
but
shows
you have
us.
people
He
in a
shows us their his back office on a
so
couple of
people
the trainings that we did with him. He goes, "Well, I don't want to get in trouble, but let me show you my back office." And like you said, Arthur, he's doing 0.1s, and other people are doing 0.9s or 1.0
yes.
or 2.0, and it's like, so wait a minute. You say that you're following Joel, but you're not doing what Joel tells you to do. I'll never forget, Arthur, the couple of trainings that we did with him. And he goes, listen, you get your account to 150 in profits, get out. Because at that time, he wasn't doing tap to trades. And he's going, I'm willing to hang in there, but I don't think you should. So he said that exactly the other way. He's going, listen, you don't have to ride out the trade to make it come back. If it gets to 150 negative, you're out. So now you sit there and think, how many trades would a person have to do with 100, 150 loss on a $100,000 account? How many of those trades would you have to do a day to lose your account?
100.
100. And he's not doing 100 trades. You know what I mean? So it's pretty obvious if you, again, disciplined, do your time.
Yes.
Because I'm like you, Arthur, when you first got in, is every time that you called me up and said, wow, I had a bad day or I lost my challenge, you always blamed yourself. And now, I'm finally at the place where every trade I take I'm personally responsible for it. And I don't have to use him. So there's a bunch of people that are hooked in with the Bitcoin guys. And I guess they're pretty shady. So I get a lot of messages on people going, these assholes don't even show up for the trading thing. They'll just say, hey, I'm late, and then 15 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour later, it's like, hey, I'm thinking about coming on, and then they come on and they're not. And I'm going like, I don't know if that's really good for someone that's paying $149 a month. You know what I mean? So for people who are paying for services, they need to find someone that's reliable. You know what I mean? That shows up and does their best instead of they just don't care.
Right. And I think that's, people still ask me, well, who do you follow? I'm like, how do you not know who I follow? Like, everybody should know that I follow Joel. That was it. Like, when I started to pass my challenge, I just followed Joel. Some of the tap to trades I take from John Leal, but, I don't take that many, or from Javid, I don't take that many of their tap to trades. But for the most part, I
Too many of
follow.
Javid's, he doesn't do any.
I know that's the other thing. Yeah, he doesn't do any. But
Hey, when I first got involved, who did I tell people to follow?
Javid and John Leal.
Yeah.
And then the other thing too is that, like what Matt said about the, all the people asking about AI stuff. I have like all of your people asking me about trading. Like I could tell by their name. I'm like the last. Well, Camille, I speak to Camille, and then Vladislav.
Yeah.
He must be on your team because he's over there in Poland. But there's like several of them. I'm like, I just look at their name. I'm like, oh, that's one of Robert's people. I'll answer their questions, and they're asking me like the same things that have been taught in the videos.
Everybody doesn't think that I say, hey,
So I'm like thinking, is Robert like telling these people? Reach out to Arthur.
Yeah. No, I don't. I swear to God. You know who I am, because when you first started doing something, I said, let's do a podcast.
Yeah.
So if someone asks me, I'm always telling them, hey, listen, I just don't have time for people that won't watch a video.
Yeah. So I'm thinking they're not watching
won't.
Joel's trainings because they're asking me some questions that are in the training. So I tell them, hey, go over these 7 videos in the getting started tab. But now I'm just going to copy the link for TradeStars GPT.
Yeah.
That is like, has everything in there. And I'm going to start giving that to them. I'm like, ask your questions in here.
Yeah, Arthur, you just don't have to use your name. Say, listen, a lot of people keep asking me the same questions. So here's an AI that you can ask. And they're gonna say
smarter than me. It's smarter than me.
They're gonna think, oh, Arthur did that.
So now I'm just gonna start sharing that from now on when people start asking me,
Yeah,
what lot size, what this, what that. I'm like,
people truly, there's no way that Thomas and Christian would have hit 50K and 100K again if I didn't jump down their throats. You know, I needed to jump down their throats because they're like, well, all my people are complaining. You know what I mean? And I go, yeah, but all the people that are going to do this for a living are not. Yeah, but how can you bring somebody into the business and not answer their question? I go, if it's available on a video? No, I did. They just feel privileged because they paid $149, or in Poland's deal, a yearly, you know what I mean? A yearly amount. It's like they just feel, hey, I just spent $1,499. I own you. What a bad attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, no. So I never tell people to go to you. If you, and how I can prove it to you is sometimes I ask you questions about something that I can send to them.
Oh, like yesterday. Yeah. The video,
yeah. So this Camille reaches out to me in nowhere. And he says, hasn't anyone taken the time to actually show how to do a manual trade?
I did.
And I went,
I did that.
I'll ask a couple of people. So I reach out to Arthur, and Arthur goes, not only did I do the video, but it's in your playlist that you share with everyone.
Number 37.
And I went, that was a good one. Arthur's done that to me numerous times. It's like, hey.
And it's short. It's 3 minutes and 8 seconds.
Yeah. And then Matt knew how important this was for people. So he takes the time. How many of you guys would like to pay Matt's hourly rate, which is priceless to me? And he goes through every one of Joel's videos and all his PDFs and everything and put together a whole playlist for people. And people won't watch those videos. I mean, that's some of the embarrassing is when I actually go and see how many views some of these videos have. And I'm just going, shame on you. Shame on people.
I've watched it 2 times already.
What?
I watched the videos that Matt did 2 times already, and I've already watched them before in the back office.
Yeah.
So I watched them on YouTube 2 times already.
Yeah.
Thanks, Arthur.
People want to know why you're number 1 on the leaderboard. But
I was going to say that took a lot of time for me to do, so I appreciate you watching.
Yeah.
I mean, I've watched them on YouTube, but I've already seen them like maybe 4 or 5 other times in Akashics, but
I would normally, what I would say to people is I would 1,000,000% years ago, and we've done this. I'd be like, go to the back office and watch the videos. Here's where they are. I would shoot a video showing people where they were. And I'm so aware that I took those videos and cut the Spanish parts out, edited them down, and then re-upload them, put them in that playlist, and people still won't watch them. That's the edited down version, dude.
Yeah.
Like that's the version that's easier to consume.
And they're short.
Right. And it just, like I said in here, people will watch them too, but they won't engage with them in the same way. They always have like multiple screens with something else going on, so you're not retaining the information. So then you have to ask questions about the information. It's called rewind. You know what I mean? Anyway.
Yeah, and Coach Bob was saying about the time. When I started to like try and I'm like, okay, I need to like figure this out. This is before you did the interview with Joel, but I started watching his videos. I would just watch one in the morning. It's like 20, 30 minutes, the English part. And then in the evening, if I had time and I didn't have like work to do, I would watch another one. And I would just do that every day. So by the time like
you actually put your 45 minutes in a day.
Yeah. So by the time a couple weeks had gone by, it's like people are like, whoa, like how do you know this? I'm like, I've been watching like the videos like every day.
Dumbass.
Every day.
Well, thank you, Arthur. I need to get we need to shut this down. But thank you very
Okay.
much for coming down. No, I was just looking at the time. I'm going, oh my God, you know, people want to go to work tomorrow, and so it's. Thank you, Arthur. I love and appreciate you. I'm proud of you.
Me too.
Oh, thank you so much, Arthur. And wow, what an amazing AMA. This is what's so exciting. I mean, yes, it is time, but you know what? It's valuable time. Very valuable time that we get to share with one another every Saturdays at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern here on Robert's channel. So if you haven't hit the like and subscribe buttons, please do so. We'd appreciate that. It helps us to get the word out to ears that hear. And we love and appreciate the fact that each and every one of you are involved. That's what makes this so incredible. It really, really does. And without you here, we wouldn't be doing what we are doing. So bless you and thank you, each and every one of you. Got to give some quick shout outs before we wrap up today to Coach Bob Johnson, Scott McAvoy, Lisa Marie Cook, Arthur Wainio for participating, of course, to our executive producer, Matt Hollis. Matt, bless you. Thank you so very much. Not just for being here and for sharing the AI stuff, but for being our executive producer and our ground here. And of course, Dex and Leo. Yeah, we got to give shout outs to them as well. And to Terry. If you want to save the information that's in the chats, go ahead. And on YouTube, we'll download it. And as soon as we get done here, we'll put it in the post description below. If you're watching on Zoom, click the 3 dots in the meeting chat next to Ask Me Anything. And then click on Save Chat. It will download to your computer at our conclusion. And just really, everybody, thank you so very much. We are grateful. We are thankful this Thanksgiving weekend that you are part of our community, our friends, our family, and we are going to start wishing you now a happy holidays because the holiday season, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, New Year's are upon us. So thank you all so very, very much for being here. We love and appreciate you. And until next time, please be good to yourselves. Be cash. Bye-bye. And I'm going to go ahead and open it up so we can all say so long for now. See you next time.
Bye, everybody.
Ooh, thanks, Greg.
Bye, Dad. Peter and
hold on.
Linda. Peter and Linda.
It's called
Peter and
unmute.
Linda.
Great weekend. You got it, Craig.
Daniel, Lucas, Dustin.
Bye.
Tim, thanks for the videos during the week. Appreciate you. Jerome, Arthur, Scott, Kevin,
Thanks, everybody.
Mike,
Matthew, everybody.
Coach Bob, Matthew,
See ya.
Greg.
Thank you. Love you guys. Have a great